It's Godzilla news! At last, we have some information about the King of the Monsters. Next US movie, not the one in Japan, will feature King Kong either with or against, kind of uncertain. The rumor mills finally have dropped some tantalizing information regarding the plot, who the main villain is going to be. However, stick around to the end of the video as I have finally found, after some digging, confirmation on just how accurate those rumors are. Alright, so as the article states, alleged plot leak of upcoming MonsterVerse sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong claims to reveal the film's villain. And there's been a little bit of controversy, it's briefly covered, but originally a lot of people were under the idea that it would operate as a Godzilla vs. King Kong 2. Then there were some images released of a hat that said Godzilla and Kong, so the idea was, they would team up to take a villain on. It's been very tight-lipped. We know that Adam Wingard's directing. We know they shot a bunch of stuff in Australia, but there's really been a very tight lip on anything regarding this film until now, apparently. And so we go into a quick recap so that we pad the article a little bit. There's an Apple series, Godzilla, Australia, everything I just said. And then they finally get down to the meat and potatoes, stating that plot details were discovered by a YouTuber named Warstu. He made a video where he outlined a bunch of that information. And according to his video, basically we've got the hollow earth, and then we got sort of above surface earth. It basically talks about how Godzilla's in above, King Kong's in hollow earth. Big new monster comes and rears his ugly head. They each fight him, lose, then they have to band together to fight him. Disturbingly similar plot in some ways to the original one, which kind of had me scratching my head a little bit. It's not beyond the realm of the possible that Hollywood would do sort of fundamentally the same movie twice. They kind of thrive on that sort of thing. If it worked once, it must work a second time. But I guess I was hoping for better. We're hoping they would realize that there are other options available to them. Nonetheless, they go on and basically said that the intel and everything that Warstu is reporting on seems to indicate that the main bad is going to be a sort of variation on Space Godzilla. And I say variation on Space Godzilla because the descriptions from the leak basically said that it is a sort of combo deal of Space Godzilla and Biollante, insofar as it has some of the Space Godzilla crystalline structures. They seem to be held together and connected by plant-like threads, a la Biollante. Okay, so that's kind of the main gist of it all. It's sort of the meat and potatoes, shall we say. So I managed to track down the Wars 2 video that was being referenced in the article, and I watched it from start to finish. Now, what I can tell you is a few things. One, Wars 2 has got a very large channel. He's been doing this a long time. And two, in the past, even in regards to the first Godzilla vs. Kong film, Warstu has dropped leaks, hints, tips, whatever you want to call it, that wound up and turned out to be true, okay? So far, so good. However, Warstu acknowledges in his video the source for his information. And the source is from a leaked report on 4chan from a user identifying themselves as K-D-W. And, full disclosure, Warstaw states that he doesn't know this source, it's not 100% reliable, and everything in this should be taken with a grain of salt. However, he's been correct in the past, and he feels good that this is going to be solid information, or at least solid enough that we can kind of get a general idea of the thing. So, that was fine, but I had to dig deeper, and I had to dig further. Deeper dive and investigation, I determined that the 4chan leaks predominantly all happened around early December the 12th. Warstu's video came out later in the day on December 12th. By the end of the day on December 12th, K-D-W posted one final additional thing, and that was this. Be careful, quote, fake leaks, unquote, / fanfic stuff just dropped here and there. I know some of you guys will like some ideas, but no, just no. All right, so conspiracy theories aside, I'm going to go and fall and err on the side of caution and common sense, and that is to say that all of this is lies, rumor, innuendo. I think that K-D-M posted something, not thinking that it would get much in the way of traction, didn't realize it would be picked up by some channel as popular as War Stews, with as much credit as War Stew. And then once it was out, kind of felt compelled just to avoid any kind of confusion or possibly to stop the bombardment or who knows, but was compelled to put out there that no, hold up. Don't use me as a source because this is all made up. Maybe feared that once the film came out, everybody would be like, hey, you're a liar. Whatever. Who knows? I don't know and pretend to know what goes through people's minds. Because on the flip side of the coin, if everything was 100% accurate and he really was a leak and he really had insider information and he put it out there and then it got picked up and circulated on a much, much wider scale and then he came back and tried to do a mea culpa, it wouldn't accomplish anything. It's not protecting an identity and it's already out there if it is in fact true. So there would be no point in trying to pull it back if it were true because the damage is done. But if it isn't true, then again, guilt, confusion, fear, whatever else would be a much stronger motivation, in my humble opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know, because obviously it's Godzilla. That's my main man. I will soak up every little teeny tiny bit of information I can about the big G. So I really, really wanted this to be true or accurate, but I just can't buy it. So again, what do you guys think? Agree or disagree?